Senator Telo Taitague joining us this morning. The subject of an ethics complaint that was sent to Island Media and Speaker of the Legislature, Speaker Therese Terlahi, yesterday. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Chris, and good morning, Sabrina and Jason.
Good morning, Senator.
Good morning, Jason. Yeah, well, we're back here again on another ethics complaint.
Yeah, but
just like my thing said, it seems like I'm pushing some buttons and people are not happy with me, asking the hard questions or calling them out or, taking hard positions.
Senator, if we could, because the Agora Executive Director, Ray Tapasny, had sent me this. So he had filed an ethics complaint against you last year, and this was relative. There was a hearing, and I believe it was a confirmation hearing. Yeah. Wait, do you want me to send that to you?
Oh, yeah.
The Ray Tapasny one. The picture is for later.
Okay.
So there was a hearing. I want to say it was for Agora board member, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, Ray had sued his board, and so you had asked, hey, how do you feel about being on this board? You could be sued by the director, and he, boy, got his panties all in a bunch. Was very upset about it. He actually ended up filing an ethics complaint, and we just got, he sent me the response, which was sent to him in July of last year. The Committee on Ethics received a verified complaint from Mr. Ray Tapasny. After screening the complaint pursuant to Rule 10 of the Rules and Procedure for Committee on Ethics and Standards, the committee, by majority vote of its members, has determined the screened complaint does not warrant further action by the Committee on Ethics and is hereby dismissed. So that was the last ethics complaint you had against you. With this most recent one, I know you had issued a statement.
Yeah.
But I guess I was just wondering, like, in the statement, what was it exactly that you had said?
Well,
There's a lot.
I think it mentioned that I might be pushing some buttons on, more buttons and people not liking it that are being questioned or called out, and probably distract. It's more like intimidation and distraction on the work that I'm doing right now. I could kind of guess who's doing who's behind this ethics committee. Or not committee, I'm sorry, this ethics complaint. So I just think that, it comes with the territory. It's your famous line, Sabrina, it is what it is. But it's definitely not going to, stop me from asking those hard questions and moving forward and not being intimidated by it. I've always said on the show that, I always ask the public, please don't turn a blind eye, If you see something, say something. If you're too afraid to do it, I understand. Not everybody, wants to put themselves in a predicament. I mean, like myself. I mean, I didn't run in this election to sit back and do nothing and say nothing. And I think the encouragement from the public asking me to continue to do what I do, they like that I ask the hard questions. They like that I'm going after people who are involved with, the crime or government corruption. And it really gives me a lot of strength to move forward. I'm getting a lot of texts this morning saying, keep up the fight. We know this is all, BS and, et cetera. But I think if I were to be intimidated, and stay quiet, then who's going to fight the fight? So I'm going to keep moving forward and doing what I do and try to focus on the important things that I've been working on, like the medical malpractice. It finally introduced yesterday, with Speaker Terlahi. I know, but we can save that for another time, because I definitely would like to talk to you about that with the speaker on that we have this legislation, and it's with many co-sponsors, about 12 of us total. So I'm really excited about that. And of course, I'm introducing later on today 3 more villages for name changes, which after that, I will hold off until the Commission reviews. So the southern villages of Humatak, Hagat, and Maleso, The spelling, the pronunciation, everything is already in place. So the next step is just to create legislation to change those names. And it's more than just changing the names, Chris and Sabrina. It's about, our identity, our Chamorro identity, and for our children and our future generations to now start, speaking more in their native tongue, to know who they are. So things like that are moving forward, and I'm not going to give up, and I'll continue to fight corruption and definitely those who are loss of trust in our public that are sitting in government positions. But anyways, go on.
Yeah,
I'm
go on,
sorry
Sabrina.
to.
Right, yeah, I wanted to give you this opportunity to go through this ethics complaint because
Yeah.
there were several allegations here that, people would want to hear your response. And I wanted to start with this whole issue with GVB and the minutes that they were referring to from this executive session in November of 2016. And the transcripts that were released, and they described you, Telo Taitague's incompetence associated with their work performance. There were also references with employees concerned on her tendency of bypassing protocol and directly interfering with vendors. And this is where I'm going to quote it right here. However, what was the most concerning comment in the document was a mention by board member Bruce Kloppenberg, who was quoted by stating, quote, "Then there was the kickback." And he was referring to some purse, some high-end purse that you supposedly had received from a vendor. Can you kind of explain what exactly is this about? And do you have this purse?
Okay, first of all, no, I don't have the purse. I think it's easier for me to start from the very beginning. As the deputy general manager going into GVB, I saw a lot of things that I wanted to point out that I thought was very unfair, and that the way certain decisions that were being made were being biased to one group of individuals. So, like who I am, I call it out. For instance, I think this whole issue of why they were so upset during the latter part of 2016 was most especially on this, it was on the complaint of this legislation that was introduced. Now, what I didn't realize that I found out too, Sabrina, was the fact that when you have board meetings, executive board meetings, that you're not privy, the public's not privy of those minutes until 6 months later. I had no idea it was that long before you could find out what happened in a meeting. But anyways, I was able to get those minutes of the meeting. And after Bruce made that comment, they just blew him off and said, no, let's move on to something else, because there was no merit to that at all. And this purse was a donation to our Christmas party that we had. And it was given to Rose Cunliffe, signed for and everything for the Christmas party. So as far as having a purse, no, I think the board was more upset about this legislation that would actually change up the board, the composition of the board. So that's what they were really upset about.
Senator, because we popped up the picture on here, and I just got to say, because I've seen stuff on this purse thing, and it's like when you tell a lie and enough people start to tell it, it just snowballs it into like the biggest piece of fake news. And you guys can see here on the picture that the bag was returned to GVB, the bag that was received by Senator as part of the Christmas party raffle. Right? Can you go into kind of that and how the different GVB managers were supposed to collect prizes for a Christmas party?
Yeah, that's actually, prior to that, I was the chairman of the Christmas party, my first time doing that. And one of the things that everybody has to do is take solicitation letters and go out and solicit for gifts for our fundraiser, as well as our Christmas party for our employees. So I had done my solicitation the following year, knowing that, okay, they're going to hit us up with these solicitation letters. So I was able to get a purse, some cards, gift cards from Macy's for the Christmas party. So it was when I left GVB to go to the Philippines to take my sister for some medical treatment in the Philippines. This was in December. Our Christmas party wasn't until January. So I told the chairman of the Christmas party, I said, I have these gifts for our party. Do you want them now or when I get back from the Philippines? He said, oh, just hold on to them. So when I was in the Philippines is when I got my Dear John letter. And so when I came back, I gave all my keys, my documents, my cell phone for GVB, and turned everything in, along with all the Christmas gifts that were given. So they were signed for and received, and it's as simple as that.
So if that's the case, Senator, why are people still accusing you of getting this bag? That it's clear if you can see that you signed off and returned it before you left the bureau.
I think because there are people out there who just want to discredit my ability as a senator, or try and take me down, or basically shut me up from asking these questions, going after people who need to be questioned or who's lost the people's trust. And that's why they keep bringing this up. We'll try and get her at that, and hopefully the people of Guam will not understand that the bag was returned. So we'll go ahead and keep using that and let people think differently. So I appreciate the opportunity to explain what had happened and what this whole bag issue was. But
so that's the bag thing, but there's like about 500 other things in the complaint too.
Just to continue on with one of the things that I did, and I know that the board was very upset with me because during one of the storms, I went out and to find out what was really causing the flooding in Tumon, in this one area. And while I was out there, I was noticing that there was water being pumped out of the back of the sandcastle, who at the time was our chairman of the board, Mark Raldiga, pumping water out of the back of his parking lot onto the street, and that was causing the flooding. So I took a picture of that, sent it to EPA, and said, this is a clear violation. You guys need to look into this. This needs to stop. This is very unsafe, for the cars, and this is why it's flooding so badly. So of course, doing that along with, the legislation, they were not too happy with me because I was calling them out. And one of the legislation, clearly what it did was provide more of an equal playing field for all business to have the opportunity to sit on the board that oversees $22 million. And that is providing more people with the opportunity who are small businesses. And you weren't seeing that. You were seeing the same group of horsemen that were on GVB for decades. And this legislation was changing that. So of course they were very unhappy with, with me, but I am not going to sit idle or turn a blind eye to what was going on at GVB. And if you notice, I've introduced legislation again this term to try to adjust that type of practice that's been going on at GVB for years and provide that equal playing field. So that I spoke to the oversight chair, Senator Shelton, about the legislation, as well as the president of GVB, and they're in support of it. So I'm just waiting for a public hearing. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some more ethics complaints against me. So stand by.
Well, I don't know if they have anything left to complain about because there was a bunch of other issues in this letter, Bree.
Yeah. So one of the other points was this restraining order and a lawsuit in 2013. When I guess while you were working at the governor's office, you were sued by Miss Arminda Tuzon, and it kind of was related to a social gambling event, and the two of you got into an argument, and somebody lost money. What is your response to this?
That is totally not true. I think KUAM even covered that segment in 2013. Armanda used my name when she was going after a particular job, and used my name for reference. And in no way did I want my name to be used for reference for her. And so I brought it to the attention of the person that she provided this reference to, that no, my name, I did not give her the authority to use my name. I do not endorse her for this position at all. And of course, she got all upset and she filed a defamation of character lawsuit on me. We went to court, and she dropped the case because there was nothing there that could, with merit or anything with a defamation at all. So she dropped the case. My father wanted me to countersue her for, bring this to court, but I didn't. I just let it go and said, that's fine. I think if I was just a nobody, that probably wouldn't have gone that far. But I think her weapon of choice was putting my name in the media to make it look bad. So that's what happened on that case there.
Mm-hmm. So the two of you weren't arguing over something about a social gambling.
I don't get along with her. I mean, that's why I called her the person that she provided my name to as a witness, because no, I don't get along with her at all. However, time heals all wounds, and I think she called me recently about 6 months ago, I think it was, about something, and just to tell me something, and that was it. Mm-hmm. I don't even remember what the conversation was about. It was really quick. Just say hi. So that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
A September 2015 online edition of the Sunstar Philippines notes a meeting in Cebu, which then Deputy General Manager of GVB, Telo Taitague, was in attendance with the general manager of a local hotel, and among the discussions was a conversation which included attracting a casino resort to Guam. This meeting was paid for by Guam taxpayers, and this was despite Guam voters rejecting a casino industry in Guam on more than one occasion.
Nope. Don't remember that. I've been to Cebu with GVB, but I don't remember discussing anything about a casino. They don't even have casinos in Cebu. Okay. I don't think they do. Mm-hmm. No, that is totally false. Okay. I don't even know who they're talking about.
Okay. With the known ongoing federal investigation into an illegally operated online gaming syndicate, which includes several local law enforcement officers, many in the community have stated that Ms. Taitague, who is well known in the local gambling community and is a frequent visitor of game rooms, is part of the investigation.
No, I don't go to game rooms. Number one, it's pretty scary, so I don't go to game rooms. And as far as this app thing, no. And I wish this federal investigation would continue, would finish their investigation. It will prove that I'm not part of it or never used an app to gamble on. I'm not that techie.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly, in an interview with the morning radio talk show a few weeks ago, when asked
which talk show was that? I think that was this talk show. Right. Yeah. I mean, morning talk show, though, we're much more than a morning talk show.
The number one talk show in Guam.
When asked if she gambles, Senator Taitague stated that she does not consider herself a gambler and occasionally frequents bingos for fundraisers in the games of chance at the Liberation Day carnivals. What she failed to note are her regular appearances at high-stakes card games, game rooms, and underground events, such as where she had the confrontation with Miss Tizon. There's also that picture of her at the slot machines in a Vegas casino circulating around social media.
Oh, is that illegal, though? Man, Senator, I got to say, because we did ask you if you're a gambler, and it wasn't just, it was a time before that, too, and you did say that you play cards, is what I recall, mm-hmm. and that you do go to the bingo fundraisers or whatever.
No, I'm a social card player with my friends. I enjoy doing that socially. If I'm by the way, this photograph they're talking about, I went to my Facebook page, and it was my Mully and myself over in the Philippines. We were doing our executive checkup, and we decided to go to that opening of that new hotel with the casino, and we took a picture. I think it was my birthday. Yeah, it was my birthday. So yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong there. But social gambling is not illegal on Guam. You can have a group of people. You remember during the time, or Manamku, during the rosaries or the wakes, that they would be playing cards, passing the time. But it's like they're making gambling like a 4-letter word. I mean, you're calling all those people who like to go to bingo or like to go take trips to Vegas or the Philippines to play. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all. As long as I enjoy hanging out with my friends and playing, cards with them. We have our best conversations there. But other than that, and there's nothing illegal about social gambling.
Nothing illegal about social high stakes card games?
No, nothing. If you look at the Guam Code Annotated, if you look at the law, I think it's 9 GCA, chapter 2064. It says it clearly that the game or contest takes place on private premises. I usually hang out with my friends either in their backyard or that all wages are presented at the premises. No charge is made directly or indirectly as a condition or entering the premises or waging upon result of game or contest. Nothing is sold, offered for sale, or rented or premises. I mean, that's the law that says it. I mean, looked into it. In fact, I looked into this law when I went to one of the carnivals, the fiestas. Remember when they had the fiestas and they would have their little arcades or little carnival setups and stuff like that. So I looked into the law to find out about it. But that one is kind of controlled scenario. It's basically made to help fundraise for that village organization, the committee. And I've attended many of those. I know that it helps them on a fundraising basis, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think what's happening here is that people are trying to deter what I'm trying to do, and that is go after those individuals who, are self-interest.
Senator, who though? Is it the Democrats or the Republicans? Because from what I'm hearing, this is like friendly fire coming from within your own party.
I think so too, to tell you the truth. It's I think it's coming from an individual where I questioned a new appointment of a party member for an officer, and we've been calling other Republicans asking, and they too feel the same way, that this person should never have been appointed or put in that position. And next thing you know, I mean, we were doing that for like 3 days, and then next thing you know, on Monday, this comes out. I mean, we all know where it usually stems from, so social media that, driving these individuals to try and, discredit people like myself or individuals who are trying to help the people of Guam. I'm just very grateful that the work that I'm doing people are coming up to me and telling me that they thank me for asking the hard questions and being straightforward and no nonsense, going to the point. So that gives me a lot of courage to keep going, because, when you're throwing rocks, you have to be prepared. Those rocks are going to be thrown back at you. And I'm prepared for that. I'm not going to sit back and be a senator that's just going to exist. I'm going to be a senator that's going to go out and help the people of Guam and ask these questions and go into the media, because they're not given the opportunity. They feel that, oh, I'm a nobody. Nobody's listening to me. Well, I'm listening, and I'm going to bring those questions up.
There's still,
especially during.
Right. Go ahead. There's still a couple of things, Senator. We just kind of want to go down the line here.
Yeah, there's just two more. Yeah, there's two more.
Okay.
In a 2020 financial disclosure report to the GEC, you reported that you own a business, Telo Photo, with an estimated value of $10,000. However, Ms. Taitague claims that in 2019 she earned $12,630 from this entity. There are no online mentions of the existence of Telo Photo, and it is very unusual for a business value to be lower than the annual income it generates, as it usually is the opposite. This questions where this additional income was generated from.
I'm going to reach into my cabinet, but I have it locked, to show you a picture of my business license.
Mm-hmm.
I have a business license. It's called Telephoto. I used to be a photographer. Many people know it. I took pictures at the school, and I have a company called DBA, The Graduate Inc., where I sell graduation cap and gowns, invitations, and rings. The company is now being taken over by another company to do all this work, and I just make a commission from it. So I'm not really involved in it, but I still hold my business license. It's filed every year. My GRTs are filed every year. My business license, I pay the corporation fee. So yeah, what's illegal? What was illegal about that? I forgot that section. I don't know what was illegal.
They just say that there are no online mentions of the existence of telephoto, and it's very unusual for business value to be lower than the annual income it generates, as it's usually the opposite. This questions where this additional income was generated from.
Well, every year, that individual has to, the one who's taken over, by commission to use my company to sell cap and gowns, they have to go every year to all these schools to get contracts. And some years they don't get the contracts. Jostens gets the contracts, or another company will get the contracts. So it's not like consistent. So one year I could do GW, JFK, and Okadu. And one year I could do all those three plus Southern High School and another school. So it varies up and down. But what was the illegal part of this? I'm sorry if I'm not answering your question.
I'm sorry,
but
Senator. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, I'm just reading what the person's alleging here. Let's move on
to
the
part.
Yeah. So the final one was the Guam legislature's website states for the period of October 1, 2019 to September 30, 2020, Senator Taitague issued a contract for media design to Mr. Myung Jun Hong, a resident of California. The objective was to create campaign advertising at taxpayer expenses. Can elected officials utilize their office budgets to aid in paying for campaign ads, or is this illegal?
Myung was hired from my office because of his work. He was my media go-to guy, graphic artist, as well as IT guy. So I had hired him. Now, if you're asking if they do anything for my campaign, yeah, but after hours, if even my staff, I mean, you see people going up, putting up signs, and I'm really grateful for people helping me out during the campaign, but I really like to pay them, for doing it. But anyways, it's another story. And I think the last time Myung, I don't have him currently in my staff. Last year, I think we let him go in September 2020. Our budget is really low, so I couldn't afford to help him. But he was kind enough earlier this year when I came in to create my business cards, my legislative business cards. But he did a lot of our work on my Facebook page and coordinating my print cards.
Senator,
like
I guess specific to this allegation, did Myung do any campaign work where he was compensated with funds from your office budget?
No, nothing. He did not do any campaign work for me on working hours or business hours at all. What he did on his spare time, that was different. Just like other staff members, when it comes to campaign time, they go out and they do things, but not on business time, no. And if it came down to paying Myung for his work, we did when it came to campaign stuff. But no, he was hired from my office to help my office out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I want to move now into your response and the statement that you issued. Senator Taitague to haters, Tima Maigusi, but there was one thing you wrote here that you're pushing some buttons with your positions, your hardline positions, and one part you said was local Republican Party politics. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think Chris alluded to that earlier, if it was in our own party. And like I said earlier, I think that, this probably stemmed from, my questioning the appointment of this latest National Committee chairwoman.
Shelley Gibson. Shelley Gibson was appointed by the party as the National Committee chairwoman.
And I'm thinking, that it could have stemmed from that, because we were talking about with other Republicans about this and their take on what's going on with this new appointment. since Friday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were on the phone talking to all of them, and all of a sudden on Monday, this ethics comes out, this complaint comes out. So, you know, it's unfortunately, but also could be within our own party. You know, we have issues within our own party. I'm sure all, you know, other parties do too. But yeah, that's what I meant by that particular section.
So this, to me, this is about the factions in the Republican Party, right? Because Shelley kind of represents that Mary Torres faction, which totally hates the Joanne Brown, Telo Taitague faction. And so I'm very privy to a lot of this infighting that goes on and a lot of these backroom orchestrations and attacks. And I guess, I mean, deals. I mean, I'll just say, like, I get Republicans who complain to me all the time about you and Joanne. And so this is, I think this is what this is about, is like you got factions of the party that probably made a deal with Lou, that want to roll over for Lou for the next election, and they want to, that's the only thing I can think is because you and Joanne are very critical of the administration. And then you get the Mary Torres Republicans who are practically in bed with the administration. And so that's what I see, this, to me, outside looking in.
Well, it's, you have a good eye, first of all. Both of you both have good eyes. I mean, you can read body movement, body language, they call it. But I really think that what Joanne and I are doing, moving forward with calling out those who in the government who are losing the people's trust. I just think that you're not going to make everybody happy here, you know, in the first place. You're not all going to agree, you know, things like that. But you just have to keep moving and make sure that these things don't distract you. These individuals who try to take you down or, you know, bring these ethics complaints up that would, you know, discredit your what you're doing. You just got to keep moving forward. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to continue to fight the fight and speak up. No nonsense.
So when is there going to be a vote on this whole Shelley Gibson thing, or?
It's done.
It's done?
I'm not sure. At this point, what we're trying to do right now is find a way to have an opportunity to vote or have the executive committee to reconsider.
Reconsider, because she already has been appointed as the committee woman.
Yeah, it's done through the executive committee. So what we're going to do now is just, you know, ask for a reconsideration. At least I am. I'm going to ask for it.
Who's on the executive committee?
There is our chairman, Juan Carlos, Kate Baltazar, James Tribune, Evelyn Casil, Benny Panaula. And then you have the minority leader who has a position there, Senator Chris Duenas. They're on it, yeah.
And they were the ones who made the decision for Shelley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, without even reaching out to other potential individuals.
Well. That was a lot of fun.
Well, aren't you saying, Rena, it is what it is?
Those are the governor's words, by the way.
Yeah. So, Senator,
I know.
Do you know?
I really appreciate the opportunity for you guys having me on here, and it's important that I explain myself to the people because I work for the people of Guam, you know, and if they're asking these questions, then I'm here to answer them. You know, most people say just let it go, don't say anything, get away from it, or don't even talk about what's going on. I have nothing to hide, and I'm an open book. I've always been an open book. But one of the things, if you know me from years past, you know that I've always been a person that speaks your mind and tells it like it is. And I don't do it with any vendetta or ill intentions. I do it because I think that people want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. You know, I want to know if I can trust this individual moving forward. You know, this Joe Cruz person has every right, you know, to file an ethics complaint. But if you're going to do this, you know, just to try and shut me up or, you know, stop me from asking these hard questions, then no, I'm not going to be intimidated and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. Like I said, I don't want to be a senator that just exists. I want to be a senator that actually makes a difference.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you,
there
guys.
was your ethics hearing. I mean, I just don't get it. Going through the substance and the nature of the complaint, it's like the purse thing, easily discredited. You got a picture of you at a slot machine on your Facebook. Oh my God. Lock her up. Lock her up.
Who's the chair of the ethics committee? Do we know?
At
Is it on
this
the
point, I'm not
legislature?
sure. Like I said, they rotate. I know that the speaker receives all ethics complaints, and then senators rotate on the ethics board. So I'm not sure at this point. You'll have to ask the
Okay.
speaker's office.
Okay. Well, thank you, Senator,
Yeah,
for
thank you,
coming
Senator.
on.
Well, thank you, and thank you for all the encouraging words of people texting me and mentioning to keep up the fight and don't be intimidated. I greatly appreciate that, because that really gives me the energy to continue to do what I do. I know that I'm probably going to have people go after me, the haters or what, but that's their prerogative. And I just hope they see that what I'm trying to do is make Guam a better place and a safer place to live.
Well, haters
That's
gonna
it.
hate. It is what it is.
Okay.
Thank you, Senator.
guys.
Okay, see you.
Adios, Sabrina and Jason. And by the way, please, I didn't want to really get into the medical malpractice bill that was on unless speakers here. So we'll make an appointment to come on there to tell the listening audience about this really important legislation. And tonight the Commission is meeting at Haget. So just a shout out for that one too as well. I'll be introducing the other three bills for the other southern villages. So until then,
Okay.
adios.
Adios.
Create a great day, everybody. Create your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Senator.
Bye.
There you go, Senator Telo Taitague. I just appreciate that she came on. I mean, I called her right away. I was like, hey, you got to come on and, answer these issues. So we kind of went down the line one by one. What was your takeaway, Bree, of some of the explanations for that?
I think she answered every question.
She did, yeah.
Every point that was on that ethics complaint. I'm interested to see, what's next. Who's on this ethics committee over at the Guam legislature? And is this something that is it Duenas Anthony Kinga, right?
Oh, yeah. Because there's no ethics commission. They're not ready to receive complaints.
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
right.
Yeah. So
And these are like old, like from 2000.
it almost looks like they just threw a bunch of stuff
2016,
together in a letter. And okay, so that's gonna be. There's some comments here. Did you take a designer bag as a kickback? Yes or no? The senator answered no. That the purse she had received was for a GVB Christmas party. She then returned that. We attached the picture of the letter and the confirmation, which was signed off by GVB during the interview. And then there was another. What's a bigger issue here is not just the receiving the bag, but also the gambling issues. On that, I would just say,
She says she's not part of that online gambling investigation, but is hoping that the findings are out and they
so she
let
can.
the public know.
She's like, hurry up and finish so I can see I'm not involved with. And we asked her about it before, and she admits she plays cards. Yeah. So, I mean, that's on you guys. Like, I know gambling's a moral issue, but from the way the senator described it, it seems like she's operating within the confines of the law. But do you want your senators to be gamblers? That's up to you guys. Then we had another comment here from Harvey. Sounds like a bunch of trumped-up accusations of a dubious nature designed to discredit a tough, hard-working senator. Chamarita Regis writes, Bula Joe Cruzes. There's a Joe Cruz in every department of Go Guam. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, I know a bunch of Joe Cruzes, but a Joseph F. Cruz, I don't know. Right?
That makes it a little bit more specific.
Yeah, but there's probably like 50